I'm not a farming expert. I haven't really done it. I'm a database farm guy. Like all the people in my database, that's my farm. They know me, they like me, they trust me, they respect the shit out of me. Though that's my farm in Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, Jordan. Doesn't matter. They're almost like a little hyper thing. I get the listings anyway. To get in a geographic area where nobody knows me, I just find that it's hard to earn that mind share. And in this day and age, that's like a technique that worked 2 decades ago. I think now, like, look, we're on a fucking Zoom call about Musculo's feeding us leads. The better thing to do would be targeted Facebook ads in that area, which Musculo already does for us, and generate us those opportunities. That's a better way to organically get a farm, because now you're fishing in one particular pond, you're an expert in an area, and you can speak knowledgeably, and you can encompass that with door knocking and other things. I think that's enough of a farm as it is. My name is David Robio. I'm a local real estate agent here in the GTA. And for those who are outside of the call, that's the Greater Toronto area inside of Ontario, of Canada. I'm privileged to have been selling real estate now since August of 2017. And since August 2017 till now, I have officially sold $500 million worth of real estate, which is pretty solid. And it's a good number. And I'm super grateful that I've been able to do that. And along the way, I've learned a lot of great tips, tricks, things that have just continued to flourish and progress. And I think a lot of us in real estate, you might, feel like fluky or something happens. To run up nearly, give me another 5 years, I'll be at $1 billion in volume. It's not a mistake. It's not fluke. There's like a lot of systems and stuff that we run. So hopefully we'll be able to pour a lot of that into you guys. But ultimately, at the end of the day, down to earth guy, married to my school sweetheart. We have 2 amazing kids that are 9 and 5. And the even crazier thing is I'm 28. That's the real mic drop right there. So doing this all at a super young age, which is awesome because I'm able to just, eagerly look at everything and just crush it. And hopefully I can bring some great value to you guys. Like I said, there's only 14 people on this particular call. I would really like, sorry guys, I'd really like to just impact as much of you as I can. Sorry guys. Okay, cool. Sorry guys. I'd like to impact as much of you guys as I can. So if you guys have anything pressing or something at top of mind that you really just some clarity on, like, I'm happy to be an open book and just see what I can do to help and give you my 2 cents of my opinion. So I don't really like to, force things onto people. Like if you're having challenge with your calendar, if you have challenging with how to follow back up with people, if you're having challenges with the converting of your appointments, if you're having challenges with commission conversations, if you have challenge booking appointments, like whatever you have a challenge with, I've solved it hundreds of times. And I'll just, hopefully you can borrow some confidence and some from me and implement it into your own practices, right? So feel free to start firing away if anybody has any questions. And I'm going to grab a pen real quick and take some notes. Sold that house. Rock and roll, guys. Hey, bro, I think you're on mute, my guy.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Please.
So, I have this one of the person that filled out the form. It's basically like she put the home number, so it didn't text. And I called her. What do you think it's okay to look up white pages for the cell and copy paste from my cell to try to see if I could get the listing? Because she didn't answer twice. Or you think I should call for the next 2 days, and then because she says she's selling within now to the next 2-3 months?
I would probably just continue to follow up with the prospect on that one particular line and just try to see, like, consistency is key, right? Just because you called someone 2 days one time, you should call them 2 days for the next 10 days. And that's how you get through to them. And don't think about the fact that you're bothering them or bugging them. Just think about it that you owe yourself and you owe them the respect to get clarity on what it is that we need to do. And the good rule of thumb, it's like when you go fishing, right? If you go fishing and you cast the first time and you don't get a bite, you don't just go home. You go fishing and you're like, I'm okay to fish again and I'll keep casting until I get something. And a good little rule of thumb that we've used and my mindset has been when I'm lead generating is whenever I'm speaking with a prospect, the goal is this: you're either a part of my future or you're a part of my past. Either of them is okay. I just need to get clarity to know how it is that we keep a relationship or not have one at all. That is it. So I would be calling just so you can quickly realize, hey, is this someone I need to keep in a relationship with or delete them out of my life? So
should I look for the cell or you don't think it's appropriate? She put in a home number it's working.
I think anything's appropriate. Yeah.
So even if she didn't put the cell, it's okay to call the cell as many times like twice, 2-3 times a day for 10 days.
If you can get a cell number as well, I don't think it's a bad idea.
And one more thing that's quick, but I'm just I'm really new to it. when I'm talking on the phone. So right now, I'm like I work under an agent who could transfer into a broker, and then he's gonna sponsor me. It's someone that's very close to me and understands me well. So my second question is, right now he's gonna have to go get the listing signed. When I talk on the phone, what can I say to make an appointment that I wouldn't need him to get involved until he meets the person? Because I just wanted to ask.
It really just depends. I always just say be honest with the prospect. Let them know that you're setting up an appointment for somebody else, and you can expect to see so and so there. My assistant will even book appointments for me sometimes. Say expect to see David there at 9 a.m. Or even I was just on vacation for a week, and I think I sold two houses like under my things, and obviously the team sold more, but I wasn't able to be there for the showings or whatever. So my team set up and said, hey, expect to see Jacob. He's going to be ahead to meet you there. Or go ahead and expect to see Brittany and she'll meet you there, whatever it is. Right. So I think just being open and candid with the prospect. What I would do if I was you first, though, man, I would stop thinking about logistics because that's not what you need to do. You need to pick up
I,
that phone call.
okay, I shouldn't. Am I allowed to give them the prices of what the house is worth, or should I say, look, I can't give you the value, but I can have Eli, who's training me, give you the value, but he needs to see the house in person. What would be the appropriate way to say it?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think I'd be mindful too that you don't want to ever instill any negative doubt in a prospect. That to me would feel a little bit doubtful, like, oh, I'm not even talking to the right guy. I just think it's, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you then, but we need to see the home in person. When can we schedule that? Just get back to the point and schedule that. That'd be fine. And sorry, I
Okay.
see someone else with a hand up. Sorry, what was that right there? Bob?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Uh, I've been doing this now for 2, 3 weeks. Gotten a few leads that have come in, and I'm finding more and more that there's no responses to emails, no responses to phone calls, text messages, multiple times, multiple attempts, different times of day, morning, afternoon, and night. Try to get some sort of a response. I've even called from my personal number so that it's not even tied to the Miss Schooler number. So I'm not getting hits that way. Now, the few times I've had hits, they've either, hey, I'm already working with another agent. Hey, I'm looking for a second opinion. It's already listed. Um, and that's the appointment was canceled. The one guy got sick, whatever. Last time you had spoken, and I'm wondering if this may just be an idea I've been floating around, wanting to get your take on it. Thanksgiving is coming up. Just actually creating those reports with the range, CMA for each of the properties, and stopping by and providing that directly to that person at their house, knocking on the door to see if I get a hold of them. If they're not there, do I leave that report? Do I take it back, or is it not even worth it to get that report in?
Yeah, well, number one, execution is better than perfection all day. So I would go get the report, I drop it off at the door. I probably, even if they're not home, I drop it off there, send a quick little video. Be like, hey, Bob, I know we've been trying to call you just in the area. I actually was connected with one of your other neighbors, already put together a home evaluation for them. It wasn't too much skin off my back to do the same for you. I wasn't able to catch you. Hopefully, I can meet you face to face. I left the report at your doorstep and hopefully find it to be of value. Just let me know that you got it and didn't blow away. Talk to you soon. And I would shoot that video and I would go. At the end of the day, guys, it's like, nor any of you nor me, we're not owed anything. Why would they pick up the phone? Why do they? We're a nuisance to them a lot of times, right? So you just have to be calm, poised, energetic, enthusiastic, and you just got to shoot. I speak to people sometimes and they hang up on me. I speak to people sometimes and like, I'm not interested. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's so silly of them. Like you're literally speaking with one of the literal top real estate agents in the area. And you're just telling me you don't have to, like, I feel bad for you. That was pretty silly, right? I'm not like, oh man, they freaking, how could they be like that? I don't expect anything of anybody because I continually remind myself that I'm not owed anything. Nobody owes me anything. Okay. So that's the mindset you need to have. And you need to be very violent, whereas you just need to do more volume. Calling the, hey, I tried calling that person 5 times. Call them 55 times. Call until your phone gets blocked. Call until you have a police arrest at your door. If you guys think I'm joking, that's how I do business. Like, and here's another thing. You guys call, I've seen people, they call one time, no answer. Okay, I'll set a reminder to call them tomorrow. I call 3 times. I call, no answer. I call again, no answer. I call again, no answer. Then I leave a voicemail. And then after that, I send a text message.
Wait. That's back to back. You
Back to
call,
back.
no
I
answer. You call
I
again,
call
no
no
answer.
answer, call no answer, call no answer to back.
Oh,
Yeah. And guess what? Guess what? People fucking answer. They answer. And you know what they say? Hello? Or they go, hello? Why'd you call so many times? They go, oh, hey, so sorry. I think I'm actually having phone trouble. I tried to leave you a voicemail and it kept cutting off. But now that I got you, hey, Bob, listen, my name's Dave. And I go right into it.
that's
And I
money.
go,
I like that. And then
and that's how you increase your call activity. You just, it's not like I have a special cell phone or I have the coolest iPhone. I have a phone. I just do it more than you guys. I call 3 times. The second I'm done with a call, I leave a voicemail. Then after the voicemail, I even say in the voicemail, hey, Bob, I'm also going to send you a text message and send you an email in hopes that might be a better way to get a hold of you. Once you get this, give me a call back on my personal line. And I repeat my personal line 2 times to actually give me the opportunity should they want to write it down. And then I send them an email that's pre-templated and a text message that's pre-templated, and I flip it off to them. And then the next day, I call them again. And I do that for 10 days straight. And eventually they answer and go, hey, you know what, man? You're an awesome salesperson, which I've been got before, but just it's not the right time. And I go, cool, man. Well, I'm just here to bring any value I can. I just need to quickly, are you a part of my future or a part of my past? I actually don't give a shit about either. I just need to know, should I delete you or should I keep in relation with you? And a lot of times people are like, hey, I love you, man. It's just not the right time. Or, hey, you know what? My aunt's a realtor. We just wanted a second opinion. Awesome. Delete. Move on. So I owe it to myself. I'm spending hard-earned money to get some of these leads. I owe it to them because I want to see if I can help them. And I owe it to myself to get on the phone with them and just get a clarity as to how it is we're going to proceed forward or not. And that is how you generate leads. That's how you do it.
okay. I mean, I like that.
Don't get hung up on
sorry.
anything. Nobody owes you anything. One good lead, it will actually be cancer in your business. I'd rather take 50, whatever leads than 2 good leads. Because those good leads, people stay on them all day. Oh, they told me they're going to sell with me next year. And they don't generate for any more. They put all their eggs in that one basket. And then something goes wrong. And then they get all emotionally depressed. But that entire time, you just got to keep going. Who cares? You got a good lead. That's yesterday's new. What do we got today? What do we got today? What do we got tomorrow? It's funny because right now, my pipeline, I have over $800,000 in projected commissions just for myself for next year. In my pipeline lineup ready to go. Nearly $1 million. And you know why? It's because I do the same thing every day and I've done it for nearly a decade. And just keep going. And I don't care what happened. I'm always focused on what can we do moving forward. So, but a lot of people stop and look back and then they get so obsessed about what might be coming up or what they have. And they stop doing the actions that got them there in the first place. And then they shit the bed and then they have a bad year and they get depressed and real estate slides back. And I've seen it with so many people and people call it the real estate roller coaster. And I'm like, since day one of my career, I was told 2 things. Never stop calling people. Never forget what got you there. You're good. That's what I've been doing since day one. I just keep doing the same basic things. I make just the same calls that you guys. I just do more of it. And I've been doing it for more time. And I just haven't stopped. I don't care about the results. I care about if I'm getting better at the thing and I'll just keep doing that thing. And by default, I'll give you guys a perfect example. No word of a lie. God is my witness. I had 4.95, give or take, $1 million worth of real estate that I had under contract. Sold, signed, delivered, done, not go through. I had a developer not close, messed up 2 of my deals, and I had one of our sales that the buyer couldn't move. That was literally $98,000 in commissions. Gone this week. Gone. And you know what I said? Can't take the good without the bad. Thank God I continued to proceed on, not just be like, pick my feet up and go, oh yeah, that business is coming through. Oof, I'm good. Even though it was firm, now I'm getting caught up in litigation dealing with lawyers. That technically should be my money, but I'm not owed anything. And I'm like, cool, that was yesterday's news. That money is gone, disappeared, 100 grand gone. I got to keep moving forward. And that is how this business works. You just got to keep moving forward. And the second you stop, you start sliding back and it's done. And lead generation is the hardest part of this game that you need to understand. It's a continuum. You need to keep moving forward. Doesn't matter. Just need to keep doing. And the reason why I want to drill this so hard is that even with Muscula, they are not the solution. They're a piece of the puzzle. They're a tool in the tool belt, but we still need to do the thing. We need to make all the calls. We need to follow up with people. We need to be booking the appointments. We need to know what to say when we're going on the appointments. But a lot of people, when they get into online lead generation, they get super lazy. And they just expect like, oh, why aren't they answering? Why aren't they coming back to me? I only got 5 this week. I see it all the time. And I'm like, oh man, like I only started doing online lead generation maybe past 2 years ago, just because I didn't really think about it all that much at the time. And I had a really good referral business, but I'm like, oh, this is the exact same thing as door knocking. because I need to be as aggressive and persistent in the follow-up and the pursuit. It just so happens that I know their name and their number and maybe why they came in to inquire, but I still have a lot of legwork to do. So still the same game, guys. You just got to keep chipping away. And there was a really good video with Alex Ramosi. I just want to see if I could send it to you guys, Mascula. Just want to see who I sent it to. I sent it to my team. Alex Ramosi pretty much said 4 hours of lead generation a day and persistent marketing will make you $3 million a year, no matter what. 4 hours a day. And I told my team, I said 4 hours a day of lead gen and follow-up. Who here can do that for a month straight, let alone a year? This is the exact thing that we need to be focusing on. It's like the small fulcrum pieces, but they have the biggest results. So yeah, hopefully I got the point across to you guys. Just got to make those calls and do those.
Question: every time you're doing the follow up, let's say I call the guy 3 times back to back. The next day I call him. Am I doing that 3 times?
But after you do the 3 times, look, you call 3 times. If they don't answer on the third call, the third ring, you leave a voicemail. After that voicemail, you send a text message, you send an email. The next day, do the same thing again. The next day, do the same thing a day. Do that 10 days straight.
When should I do the texting? When should we do the texting? How many days to let them know that I'm trying to schedule an appointment or something?
Immediate.
So I have to text them every time, or that's the first time? Every time after a call?
Yep. Every time after a call, you should be sending a text message and an email. I'll tell you why. You guys don't know how people respond. I have some clients. I'll give you a perfect example. My mom's a doctor. If you try to call this woman, you're a psychopath. She will never answer her phone. You send her an email, you're getting a response in 2 minutes.
What should I say in the email respectfully? I just want to, what would be appropriate to say the first time you email them?
It depends on what you're calling for. Hey, notice you registered to get an updated home evaluation. I've put together a generic report. I have a few key details I need from you to make sure I can make it as accurate as possible. When can we schedule a 5-minute call? Right? Something like that. If they inquired on your website for a listing, hey, I noticed you inquired on 123 Main Street. Were you able to get all the information you're looking for on this property? Can we book a private showing for you? Whatever you can do to assist in presenting value as to the outreach that they did for you, you're adding as a continuum of their thought process. Yes, I want a home evaluation. Awesome. I just need a little bit more this way. Let's get on a call. Hey, you looked into this property. Awesome. Would you like to go book a showing? You're just dragging the thought a little bit longer. It's professional, not saying, hey, you notice you registered on the property. Or, hey, got to jump on a call to give you an updated valuation. You just need to pull it a little bit more. But I think even that, if it's not good, if you do it enough times, you'll learn what works for you. You'll learn what the prospect is saying. And companies, that one of their largest line items is research and development. They spend as much money as possible to know about the consumer. They spend as much money as possible to know what the product is that we're delivering. And us as salespeople, our research and development is phone calls and appointments. That is it. You got to see how you act on both of those. You have to have a ledger to see how it is that you're operating, and you have to have the volume to actually be going on it, or else you don't have any research or development and you're like, it just doesn't work. It's like, no, that's not the case. It works. You just need to find what works for you. You need to find what the work in your market is, but it comes down to doing the legwork, right? So,
okay.
Rocky, my man, how are you?
What's going on, David? I'm good, thanks. So I had a quick question. So I'm trying to farm my neighborhood where I live here in Caledon. What tips can you give to someone if you want to farm the neighborhood, you want to get your name out there in the neighborhood? Because I've done, numerous 2-3 times now. I've been living in this neighborhood for about a year. Where giving out flyers. I sold a property in the neighborhood, gave out a flyer, just sold. I've done a couple of events, a fundraiser in the community, bring the community together. So my name's kind of getting out there a little bit. Door knocking, have been really, we got some good tips from you last time, same with Jake and stuff, and that's something I'm going to incorporate, ASAP. May have to wait till after the winter a little bit, but, and I just sold a home in the neighborhood. So how can I piggyback maybe perhaps off the home that just sold in the neighborhood? My sign is still up there. People have seen my sign for a while. Now it says a sold sign on it. Just some tips around farming, anything you can give.
Yeah, farming is the longest played game ever. The ROI on farming is slow as shit. It's very capital inducive in the beginning, and it's very business-like, right? You're going to funnel capital, time, effort, energy in the beginning in hopes to create mind share. The biggest thing that I often tell people is like, hey, what's the turnover in the area, right? Is there a predominant agent that's already in there? If you're living in Caledon, it's a state, and there's only 80 homes, a good farm is typically 500 houses.
Yeah, this is massive.
Okay, cool. So I just didn't know, because I know Caledon, some of it's rural, some of it's a little bit more dense. What I would say is I like to do micro farms. What I mean by micro farms is I like to do, when I have a listing, again, hey, we just listed it. do the open houses, and then when you sell, go print 1,000 flyers and just get out there. That's it. I talk to the neighborhood, let them know about the sale, let them know that, hey, based on the sale, values are here. Based on the sale, we have some level, especially if you sold in multiple offers, it's awesome because then you say, hey, we literally had 4 other offers that we couldn't accept, and they weren't that bad. They were actually pretty at par, and my sellers would have been happy with any of them. And those buyers are still looking here. There's no homes available. So the only thing I found with that is sometimes it puts too much pressure on people. They're like, hey, I'm not ready to sell right now. Right. And they want to wait a little bit down the road. But I think just getting out there, you get the credibility and the reputability of the fact that you just sold something. I would get out there. And then for a farm, it's tough, man. I'm not a farming expert. I haven't really done it. It just wasn't. I'm a database farm guy. Like all the people in my database, that's my farm. They know me, they like me, they trust me, they respect the shit out of me. Though that's my farm in Burlington, Oakville, Mississauga, Jordan. Doesn't matter. They're almost like a little hyper thing. I get the listings anyway. To get in a geographic area where nobody knows me, I just find that it's hard to earn that mind share. And in this day and age, I think that's like a technique that worked 2 decades ago. I think now, like, look, we're on a fucking Zoom call about Musculo's feeding us leads. The better thing to do would be run targeted Facebook ads in that area, which Musculo already does for us, and generate us those opportunities. That's a better way to organically get a farm because now you're fishing in one particular pond, you're an expert in an area, and you could speak knowledgeably, and you encompass that with door knocking and other things. I think that's enough of a farm as it is.
How about your expired listings in my area? Would you target those, go up to the house as soon as they expired and let them know who you are? Or I was thinking even perhaps sending a personalized letter because some of these houses, they expired and they don't even live there, but they still check their mail, right? The house hasn't sold. Would you send a letter? Like, how would I reach the owner of that property if they don't even live there? That's another little.
As per like RICO and as per everything, we technically can't go. Like it literally says after property expires, we can't go. So I'd be mindful. I don't think I'd be sending anything to the house with my information. I'd rather door knock it raw and just be like, the house is here. I'm going to door knock 5 houses this way, door knock 5 houses this way, and knock on their door. And if you connect with them, go, hey, listen, my name is Rocky, local agent in the area. Just coming through. Activity's been a little bit tough for some people and just trying to see if you have any real estate plans coming up in the next 12 months. And they'll be like, dude, we were just on the market. And then you step back and go, oh, really? Oh, I think I did see this. Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, did you guys sell? Or I noticed there's no sign. Oh, no, we didn't sell. Oh, are you guys planning to sell again? I kind of play stupid, right?
Yeah.
And essentially just like, hey, what happened? Why didn't it go right? Why do you think it didn't go right? What could have changed? And this next time around when you sell, what does that look like for you? Oh, we're going to hire the same agent. Awesome. Why are you planning, like, just out of curiosity, why are you going to hire the same agent again? Oh, well, they said it was the market and that's why I couldn't sell. Oh, I totally appreciate that. Except, hey, I just sold around the corner over here and I've sold 18 homes this month and blah, blah, whatever. It's like, I don't know if it's necessarily the market. I think it's marketing. Like, how is the marketing perspective? And then I would talk with them a little bit and just kind of be going. And then a good one is if they go, you know what? They said this time around they're going to do this. My key question for them is like, okay, well, why didn't they do that the first time? How is it you still continue to have blind faith and trust in this person when they fail to deliver after 90 days? I think this time around, you owe it to your family, owe it to yourself. You should interview another option, maybe even a third or a fourth, to really see the second time around because you want to get sold this time around. You don't want to just list again, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. But I don't think I'd be sending any flyers or putting anything my name on it. Because you get the wrong person who had a bad experience or whatever, they're going to go to RICO right away. And I freaking hate RICO.
So if the listing's expired, contract is done, you can't communicate with that.
No, it
that
literally says that when you sign the listing agreement, it says you do not give permission for your information to go out there. It says in the listing Y or no, like Y or N, for if you want your information to be. And if they put N, you cannot contact them or solicit them after they've expired. And I've never signed a listing in my career without signing no. So I just don't know. Look, it's ballsy. I wouldn't send anything to their house. I would door knock it and I'd leave a flyer.
Okay.
I would say, what's your home worth? I would make it very generic and be like, no, I just freaking door knock the street. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, buddy.
No worries, man. Let me see. There's some other people here. Adele. Fuck's sakes. Okay. Jennifer, David. Sorry, Jennifer, are you actually on the call? My eyes are bad. Are you here? You want to ask me that question?
I'm sick today.
That's okay. I can still hear you. You sound great.
Licensed for about 5.5 months. And
Hey, Jennifer, sorry. You know what? I think your reception, I haven't heard anything. I don't know if it's just me. Hey, Jennifer, you still there? It's funny. I saw you text say, "Hey, I'm here." Okay, well, let me try to read your question. You said, "Awesome, David. If you were a new agent who has never listed a house, which lead gen would you put your effort into taking off?" Cool. Well, okay. So your question was, "Hey, if you've never listed a home before, what would you do?" Yeah. Well, the key thing I would do is what you guys are doing right now, partnering with Missoula to get those inbound inquiries. Sorry, you just said, okay. You want to try again? Ask the question, Jen.
Hey, I just reconnected. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you perfect. Give it a shot again.
Okay. Hey, um, I'm a new agent, licensed since June,
Yep.
and I have a buyer under contract. I'm working on a commercial deal, and I did just go to my first listing appointment. So I'm hopeful to list that one. But I would really love to know your take on which lead gen source that you would pour your time and energy to, because obviously I'm doing long-term nurture, but obviously would love to work on those that are the most profitable so I can get profitable quickly.
Yeah, long-term nurture is the name of the game. Profit quickly is not the right, and the reason for that is that we are at a long-term game. It's well, strategic long-term, I should say. Like if you're in a relationship with the right people and it's there and it makes sense early on in your career, I think I would do it. As your career flourishes, you're going to be really thankful that you did because you have some foundation around. But seeking profit quick is not a bad strategy. It just I often find sets yourself up a little bit for disappointment because we're not, especially this time of year as we get into November, December, it just gets slower, right? Like just kind of how it is. So you can't, no matter how fast you swim upstream, you're still going upstream. So it's nice when you can coast a little bit. So I think having those right relationships are in play. If I were you, I heard you say commercial deal. I would scrap that ASAP. I'd get this deal done and never do it again. I would get an agent who you refer and like as a commercial deal and just give it to them. It's too even like I'll give you a perfect example. I don't do leases either. I don't do leases. I don't even really deal with investment properties. I find there's just too much legwork, too much due diligence, too much shit that can go wrong. I like to help well-off families acquire their dream home and make a move and transition to the market because those two brackets are quick, they're fun, and when you buy with the heart, there's more money on the table. So I like to just do a buy and sale. My point in saying that is I would do what you're doing now with Muscula. I would definitely door knock an area that excites you. Not even necessarily an area that you need to know a lot about, but an area that excites you that you'd love to have a listing. And I find that when people door knock, they go either relative, like, hey, I live in a townhouse, so I'm going to door knock a townhouse, or they door knock small because they're just a little bit anxious. I would argue I'd shoot for the fences. You're having an opportunity to meet a relationship behind that door. I'd go to the most expensive door I can find. That's what I do when I door knock. Which Jake, Nicole, and I were door knocking in a community that was like, I don't know, I'd say anywhere from 7 to 15 million. And that's where we were door knocking. Because it's like, oh man, if I'm gonna shake hands with somebody, I want them to be like, man, this young guy, I remember myself in this guy or whatever. Like you want to build those relationships. So that's me personally. So I would definitely be door knocking in an area that excites you. I would be sticking with Muscula. I would continually do what you're doing now, going listing appointments, give people updated home evaluations, and do a lot of practice, right? So that you're confident in delivering a home evaluation. And I think I would just put the time in. You can't bypass the time. So I think just putting the time in and maybe also early on in my career and in your career, I would encourage you to not shy away from, again, making those long-term relationships, but I would encourage you to know who the tire kickers are and scrap them ASAP. And that's why I said get rid of that commercial deal because it's just going to take up different bandwidth that unless you want to specialize in commercial, I just wouldn't, download your hard drive with like, okay, I know what to do in a commercial deal. And sometimes, we all kind of think like, hey, we should know a little bit about everything. There's so much I don't know. Like I just messaged my financial advisor and I was like, hey man, we need to pay the life insurance policy. They sent me an email. I'm forwarding it to you. Just do it. Take care of it. I don't know. Just, I trust you. You're the smartest guy in that room. Like just go take care of stuff. So that would be my encouragement for you.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I'd done like 2 community events and just learning so many different things about different lead gen sources. And sometimes it's hard to know where to put your time and energy. And I did another webinar about like the farming. And so it's helpful to know like, okay, what should you be doing? But it sounds like focusing on your sphere and door knocking in the neighborhood that you want to become dominant in is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would. So everyone statistically can't have more than 5 what we call pillars of lead generation. Okay. So you just got to stack your 5. So number 1, or not in these orders, but we'll have Muscula, right? Everyone should have door knocking. It's a great way to meet people. should have a sphere, right? Your contacts that know, like, and trust you, whoever they are. And listen, if your sphere sucks, don't be afraid to go find a new sphere. Like when I got in real estate, I was just turned 19. All my friends were still smoking pot. Nothing wrong with smoking pot, by the way, but I don't smoke pot. But I'm just saying, like, they weren't going to help me progress in my real estate career. So I did everything I could to build a new sphere, and I got a badass sphere. Everyone in my sphere is killers, young professionals, guys and girls that are just crushing it at a high level, and they're referring me to all sorts of amazing people. So I would definitely do a sphere. The next thing I would do is find a referral source. And what I mean by a referral source, I'd go find a mortgage broker that you really get along with. Lawyers don't really refer out too much, but I definitely go find a mortgage broker. And like my mortgage broker that I work with, not only does he give me a very good amount of business, he gives me good business, like good quality, because he knows, like, I'm like, bro, don't give me this bullshit. Like, I want quality, rich people that you got in there. Like, you can see their numbers, hand them my way. And now I'm his realtor, and he does exceptionally well, just like myself. So when I'm doing deals with him and his family, they're anywhere between $2 to $4 or $5 million, right? So it's like on in my career, when I made that relationship, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be a winner, and I know I'm going to be a winner. So we kind of built that relationship. Again, that's why I think it is worthwhile. Like, I've had this relationship for nearly 7 years now, right? And the investment into that relationship has paid me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Actually, probably over $1 million if you can include the leads that he's referred me. So I think that's another really good pillar that a lot of people overlook. Community events aren't bad. I just find they're so time consuming to set up and get together. Typically, when I would do a community event, what I would encourage you to do is, if there's an association or there's someone, I would see if you can find someone else there to spearhead it and let them run with it, and maybe you fund it, just so you can get the credit that you did, put some dollars behind it, but they were able to run with it a little bit more, because I find it really bogs down, like, the logistics, unless you have administrative support. And that would be, and then another thing, like, if you love open houses and you can do 104 open houses a year, that's a great pillar I've seen for some people. That I would just choose no more than 5, and statistically, law of averages, your top 3 are probably going to bring 70 to 80% of your results. And then it's strategically thinking about the type of business that you want. So my mortgage broker and referral partners and SOI, like 80% of my business. So I get to just chill, essentially, because I put in all the repetitions and the time. My phone just rings. And I've always, when I got into real estate, I'm like, that's what I want it to be. And then we use Mascula to keep me sharp and keep the fact that I'm really good at booking appointments, and I'll book appointments and give it to the team. Right. So now I can sit behind my computer and be like, okay, there's 5 leads. I know what to do. All of a sudden I book 3 appointments, and I'm like, I'm not going on any of them because I don't want them. They're not the right price points. And I go, hey guys, go take these. And then they run with it. Right. So it's about a lifestyle that you're willing to have. So again, if you love community events, hit that shit hard. But I'm just thinking, there's no more than 5 pillars that you can have, and just find the ones that you enjoy and are excited about doing. Even me, guys, like, on all this, I love door knocking. I love it. It's like one of my favorite things. It's super exciting, the fact that I'm gonna knock on someone's door, can have an opportunity to meet a new person, and especially when they're gorgeous homes at high price points. Like, I'm just inspired. I'm like, I forget selling your house. What do you do for business? What did you do to get here? And people love talking about themselves, and it just becomes like a very humbling moment for that person. And it kind of gets their dopamine up. They're like, oh, that was a great interaction. And then I tied my name with that interaction, and then I follow up with them. Just works. Like, it's psychology. I would encourage you guys, all the salespeople, to really understand psychology, because it's freaking awesome, and I know it like the back of my hand. So that's what I would do. I went on a little bit of a rant there towards the end, but that's what I really focus on early on in my career. That's what I would have done.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Hey, David,
Mark,
with the door knocking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, because you know what, bro? Some people raise their hand, Rocky. Some people are respectful of the process, Rocky.
Sorry, bro.
Rocky, I'll come right up.
David, hopefully you can hear me fine. I just wanted to ask you if you had any best practices or approaches whenever it comes to negotiations, just in real estate in general. I don't see anywhere that, like, I'm having issues particularly, but it's just an area I would like to develop a bit more.
You know what, man, I appreciate that, but I would say if it's something that you're not finding a lot of struggle in, I wouldn't even spend any time in it. Like, I would go until there's a point where you feel like you need good negotiation. Guys, like, at the end of the day, when we're selling houses, I hate to break everyone's, back, and negotiating to sell a house, it's persistence. You got to keep following up people. The negotiation typically comes with the client to convince them that you're the right fit for them. That's where we really need to negotiate, is key people. Putting deals together, like, in a tough market, maybe you need a little bit of negotiation, but think about it. If the market's bad and I can't do my damn listing, and my listing's for 1.5 and I'm getting offers at 1.3, do I need to negotiate that buyer who holds all the cards up to 1.5, or do I need to negotiate the seller to come down and meet them? I need to negotiate with the seller. So that only comes if I've earned their trust along the process, and I got their trust in the first place to hire me as their representatives, in which they've taken my advice in consideration. And then I go, now, hey, you've been taking my advice in consideration the whole time. This isn't advice that you like, but it's advice that I advise. We need to come down $100,000 to meet them, right? And that is really where we're negotiating, I find personally. And then even on the buying side, it's still negotiating your clients. Hey, there's 8 offers. I don't want to compete. It's negotiating to how better help them understand that it's actually a thoughtful thing for them to do and to throw their hat in the ring. So, I mean, there's obviously different sales courses. For negotiations, what I did was I watched Scarface a lot of Scarface. I watched Suits with Harvey Specter, a lot of good stuff in there. I watched Blow with Johnny Depp. It's another good one. Yeah. And then you can do some sales courses, but I just gave you the fun stuff to do, right? Like, oh, an American Gangster. My goodness, if you guys want to be a good negotiator and understand, like, that's my favorite movie of all time. I can't even go ahead and say that. That's my thing. So I would just encourage you to just actually even put that whole thing, try to embody someone that you like and respect, and see how they go at about a cadence with things, and start mirroring kind of like how they would act, right? Like I got Kobe Bryant on my wall, I got Muhammad Ali, I got Biggie Smalls on my wall. Like I got these people over here because there's something about each of them that I personally feel like I embody in some perspective, and I handle that in how I do business and take care of stuff. So along the way, it's not that I'm like a good negotiator. I just take care of business in a certain way. People like my discipline, people like how I carry myself, and they just have a lot of respect around me, and I'm able to just get things done. So it wasn't really like a course or like a book I read. It was more of like a lifestyle. So that would be my 2 cents.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And then the second thing was, do you have any best email or text templates for follow-up by chance? No, just
No,
get
I
it
don't.
done kind of thing.
It's more execution better than perfection, right? So it's even like, again, so we'll give them a school example. People are coming in to get a home evaluation. A good framework is, hey, John, right? So example, hey, John, I noticed you recently inquired to get an updated valuation of your property at 123 Main Street. I put together a generic report for you, but to get a very specific range and number, I just need a couple key details from you. When can we hop on a quick call, right? And then I'd follow up that email to say, hey, wanted to get this to the top of your inbox. I get that you're busy, right? So it's like now I'm just like being super respectful, right? And then the third day, I'd be like, hey, maybe a phone call is a little too tough. Can you just let me know these 3 things? Just say yes or no to either of them. Are you a 4-bedroom? And then you can pull up a little bit of research on the house. Are you 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom? I've noticed you owned it since 2010. Have you done any improvements since then? And then you'll be surprised, man. Somebody just respond because they respond best to email. Or you get someone say, hey, I got 5 minutes now. When can you connect on a call? So you just got to keep going, right? And go those layers. And then you build a mind share. And then you send out a monthly email newsletter. And they kind of know who you are. And I've had people who are like, ghosting me. I sent out one newsletter and they see that we sold $112 million worth of real estate a year. They fucking answer my call all of a sudden. Whoop-de-doo. Because they're realizing, oh shoot, man, this guy's the real deal. I should probably like, I didn't know. And again, they don't owe me anything. Why did they know? I'm there to be a humble servant. And then they realize, oh, this guy's actually a really good servant. He does it at a really high level. Then I earn the respect from them, right? And it's okay. Sometimes it's a little bit of a longer game. So that's what I would do. I would just keep the persistence of getting that people. And when you get them on the phone, immediately provide the value in which they were inquired about, but also get clarity on their plans and see if they're a part of your future or if they're part of your past. And honestly, guys, 9 times out of 10, it's part of my past. I don't need, like, I connect with people and I'm like, nah, that ain't it. I don't like the way you're vibing, or, hey, I'm only going to sell my home if I get this. I'm like, oh, I don't like to work with dreamers. I like to work with smart, educated people. Like, that's just not me, right? So I'm just scrap it. But then when I do get my key people, I just take care of them. I'm excited to do the follow-up for them. I'm excited to connect and be in relations with them. And David, are you sending this? Sorry, I'm just trying to answer at the same time. David, are you sending this through your own CRM? Yeah, so I send it. So guys, I use Follow Up Boss. I'm a big Follow Up Boss guy. So yeah, I do send everything through Follow Up Boss. I call, text, email, everything all through Follow Up Boss. I know Maskula has a CRM. I don't think there's anything wrong with using that CRM. I actually think it could be better if you use their CRM because of the familiarity of what the lead is. I usually respond to it and say, hey, by the way, it's David Robio. This is my personal line. And I let them know, like, hey, that is like a kind of company directory line. And I've straight up told prospects what Maskula is. I say, I contract this company to better help me connect with families like yourselves in our area because they're eager to service your families. And they've done such an amazing job doing the online execution for us that we can just spend all of our time taking care of things, not trying to build systems and divert ourselves, right? So I've legit told people who my school is and how it is I run my business, and they're like, "Oh, cool, that makes sense." Man, sorry guys. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what I do personally works for me. So yeah, thanks, bro. Rocky, what's up, bro?
Okay, so yes, I was doing something else when I used to speaking about Miss Q. I had a couple of leads that popped through. We had a conversation on the phone, and they were like, "You know what? We don't need you to come over to the house. Just send it to me via email." Right? Like, I'm trying to get an in-person, trying to, reiterate that, hey, it's very important. If you want to get a more accurate evaluation, let me come check out the house. I can have a little quick walkthrough, and then I can give you more accurate number. But some of them that I spoke to recently, we just adamant, no, I just want to need a number. Just let me know a number, or just, send me the, evaluation to my email. How would you handle that objection?
I'd say awesome. So Rocky, you're not that serious then, right?
No, I'm serious.
Oh, okay. So when you're sick, do you just call in your doctor? Or do you have to go in and get some things checked out? Just wondering how it is that you take serious things.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, Rocky,
So
if you want me to give you an updated valuation, there's two things I need to do. I need you to carve out 15 minutes of your day, and I need you to have me walk through so I can see what it is I'm giving a value on. Or I can give you a generic, here's the recent sales in the area, here's what they go for. It's just not something that I personally feel confident in saying, hey, your home is worth this until I see it. The condition, the state, any renovations that you've done and or not done. So not gonna be able to
Okay.
help you. So, and I would position myself like saying, hey, you know what, Rocky? You probably just need like an agent that's just starting out and just eager to do anything for anybody. You don't need a professional like myself right now. You probably are looking for an amateur.
Okay. Very nice. I'm
That's
just gonna
pretty
piggyback. I'm just gonna piggyback off not that well
Yeah.
what I originally had in mind. Again, going back to door knocking. So if you're knocking on doors and the person's a kid comes to the door, like you're looking to speak to the owner, correct? And how do you handle?
I love kids.
So are you going to say, hey, go be a mommy or daddy to the door?
Man, it's number one. I hope it's not a 4-year-old answering the door because that's just freaking irresponsible, right? Like, so I hope it's like, you know what? I'll give you an example, man. Oh, fuck, this ain't it. Same street. Okay. This isn't the house. It would have been so much better. So this says sold. I sold the house. Okay. Actually, no, I did. Okay. So you see how I sold this house?
Yeah.
Cool. I sold it for, I think, 1,415 or something like that. Okay. This is number 3. I sold number 15. You know how I sold number 15? I knocked on the door. Young lady answers. She's probably like 17, 18. And I'm like, hey, how are you? She goes, hey, I'm good. I go, hey, listen, my name's David. We actually just sold your neighbor's house. Just passing through the area today to see if we can connect with any of the neighbors because we actually had a couple offers on that home. And we just want to see if anyone else has talked or discussed at all about selling their house. Have you guys thought about selling your house? And she has it because she's young. She goes, oh no, like I live in my parents' home, but you know what? My parents actually have been talking about selling the house and they're actually good, but they're going to be going through a separation. And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm sorry to hear. She goes, no, it's all good. Like, and she's a teenager, so she's obviously taken it well. And I'm like, oh, well, listen, like, have they talked about any more when there's something? Like, no, but they just know they want to sell before the end of spring market. I'm like, hey, listen, like, are they home right now? And she goes, oh, no, they're not. I'm like, hey, listen, give them the flyer, let them know. They called me. That house is closing December 6th. I sold that house. So the reason why I like kids is they're so honest. There's like, I've had people tell me like, oh no, my uncle is a realtor. It's like, oh, okay, great. Well, listen, have yourself a great day. And I just fucking move on. So I look at kids because you talk to an adult, they're stand-upish, they have a preconceived thing. You talk to like a teenager or younger. I remember when I was at home living at my mom's house and the Jehovah's Witness would come by. I almost became a Jehovah's Witness, man. I was talking with these people. They seem nice. Like I didn't know any better, right? Like it's just so I away from that, man. I don't like when I knock and I hear the freaking world's largest dog. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you
And the other thing too is the Ring doorbells. When I started,
Yeah.
there was Ring camera doorbells. So now I ring that, and if they don't, it goes. I guess I learned this the hard way. You ring it, and it's like no one's home. Leave your message in 3 seconds. I'm like, oh shit. So I started leaving messages on people's Ring doorbells now, and that's what I do now. If there's a Ring doorbell, I ring it. If they don't answer, I'll leave a message. I'll say, hey, listen, my name's local realtor. I'm leaving a flyer on the door. Just thought I'd come out and introduce myself. If you guys have any real estate plans coming up within the next 12 or 24 months, I'd love to give you a call. If not, I appreciate the time. And I leave a flyer on the door. So they saw my face, heard my voice, and now they have a flyer. That's actually better than just a flyer and then going into garbage. I saw a young, sharp guy coming up to the door. I'm good with it.
Yeah. Okay. So you are definitely always going with a flyer. You're not door knocking. Just love it.
I am. I usually have I get stuff like these made up. We now have our Christmas event. So here's some other flyers that we have, some stuff. I also have so I have like something like this. It's like a flyer. We actually just redid these, so these are old ones, but it says like, hey, ready to move. And then it's like scan the QR code, and then it goes to like you can give a home evaluation. And in the back, I always have like a testimonial, and it's my contact information.
Oh,
Super
that's
simple.
okay. Is that door hanger? Okay, so if they're not home, you just leave it on the door.
Just generic ones, yeah. Leave it at the door.
Okay. All
And
right.
I've gotten business. I got business from that too. But like, here's the funny thing: I boxed 1,000. We handed out 1,000. I got one phone call.
Yeah.
It's a $1.8 million house that I'm still in with, but it's like that's the numbers. Imagine
Yeah.
I only went talking 2 times and handed out 50. I'm like, oh, no one's answering. It's like I'm not owed anything. I handed out 1,000 to get one call. And you know what I said? Let's put out 50,000. That's the number. Let's just put out 50,000. Let's just keep going. I'll probably increase those numbers. So then I just got some high school kids who need hours. And I just started saying, hey, listen, I'm going to sign up as many hours as you need. You're going to graduate with honor rolls. Go hand this shit out.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a great idea because being on the streets, giving them out, I've done it. It takes a long time.
Takes a long time, but these kids, they put in a podcast or whatever, and I say, hey, how many hours are you there? 4 hours, whatever. I'm like, awesome. Here's 10 hours. Here's a bonus. And then they go to school. I did this for all my cousins' friends in high school. Got them all like more hours than anybody that they all, based on their grades, were eligible for like extra honors or whatever it was. And I gave them all. I was like, just doing my thing.
Is this a different impact than doing a direct mail with Canada Post?
This is, yeah, it's a different impact. Yeah, you say it like versus like you go to Canada Post, my wife brings my mail, it's like all over the place. This one I got to go to the front door. I'm like, oh, someone was here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at least it's separated.
Okay. Okay. And you won't do like say there's 5,000 homes in my hood. Like you're just going to concentrate, just maybe within maybe 500.
I think the number's 500. Again, man, I was the farming thing, and then I was like, no, because you want to why? Areas turn over too. Areas turn over so much that it's like, man, and I've seen it happen. Sandy Kennedy, I've seen it happen with Sam. I've seen all these people who have a farm area, and then it changed because of turnover, and you're no longer relevant. You're no longer the guy, and it's like, bro, you just invested all of that time and money. You're not getting the back end ROI. I'd rather invest in people because I can
Yeah.
manage a relationship. I can't manage a stranger's expectation of what they think of me. Like I can't. So, but again, I just view it differently. I'm not saying one's wrong or one's not. It's just a high burn rate, and I just it's a lot of capital up front, and it's not my vibe.
And there is a dominant realtor in my area. He's selling a lot of homes in that area, but he's not very active in terms of meeting people. He just is. They see his signs all the time, so they just naturally calling him for listing, right? So that's the guy I'm trying to chase, and maybe get to that level.
Yeah, well, that's an easy one, right? You just go tell them why do you want to just be number one, like another one of his versus my number one? That's the whole psychology approach. And I've gone up against all the big names you could think of, and that's how I've used it. It's like they're okay to have 15 listings and not have 2 sell. Like they don't really mind. I need to sell every single listing because I'm still trying to build my resume, right? So the care and attention to detail and everything, like families care about that, or some people don't, right? It's like you go to Pizza. If Pizza gives 500 people food poisoning a month, that's okay. If that little boutique pizza place on Yonge and Bloor gives even one person food poisoning, they are taking it so personal because they want it to be perfect. So for me, I'd rather work with these clientele. That's what I am, right? So that's if you want to, if that level of attention to detail and professionalism, this is me. I'm not this scale. I don't give a shit. Put them like that's not who I am.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just got to,
All
and
right.
sometimes people want that scale, so let them have it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I wanted to ask, what's the call? I have one thing in contract right now with the lawyer, and the seller a little like nasty, and like he's like, what's the best way to do it already on contract? You want to you already said the contract, but like that he's gonna cancel the deal. How would you handle it? Very difficult. It wasn't difficult until later on, until like the deal closed. I'm just asking.
So you said the deal already closed?
It didn't close, but it's closing. It's in contract. The lawyer had the paperwork and certain things.
Oh, then get out of it, man. Our job is to facilitate a pointed transaction, but it's a lawyer's job to bring it across the finish line and get out of the deal. Like I wouldn't talk to anybody anymore. Just let the lawyers deal with it.
So you wouldn't. So you would tell the seller that you listed with that talk to the lawyer, not to deal with him if he's nasty to you.
Yeah.
Okay, you ever and then the other thing is, I wanted to ask you, right now I have the tax. It's like an AI taxing thing, another program. My question is, if somebody asks, how do I get my number? What would you say if they down? Should I say I got it from a lead generation program, or should I say, are you interested in selling? I got your number because I just heard from someone from the neighborhood. I forget who that you might be interested in selling. What would be appropriate way to text?
I would say honesty is the best policy. Just say, I would either tell them, hey, you were signed up and registered for this, or I would say, hey, we got your number through a lead generation company. Just want to see if we can provide our services.
And the other thing is, should I do direct mailing or it's not important?
It depends on your business goals, your cash flow, what you can sustain. And yeah, I would say unless you have a lot of capital to burn and you have a long run rate, it's probably not a good idea. And then I would say, even if you do have a lot of capital to burn, I would give it to Maskula. Like, it's just, yeah, I don't
Give
know.
more money, just increase the ad spend to Maskula.
You know what happens with people is they don't get the results they want on something 99% of the time because they're not doing the right output. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to try something different. Oh, I'm going to try something different. And it's like, if you just did that one thing really well, probably would have solved all your problems. And you wouldn't have to go relearn a new method and have to do trial and error and R&D to see what works. And that's why, like, I'm such a basic guy. It's like this business, and I'm not trying to be condescending, it's the easiest freaking business in the world. It's like, actually, it's very boring. And it was actually John Maxwell, who I got a lot of respect for. And if you guys don't know John Maxwell, he's written like every freaking good book that you should read under the sun. You should go read him. He said this. He studied some of the most successful people, and they all said the same thing. Success is boring. Success is mundane. Success is predictable. It's just not sexy. It isn't. And what's sexy is when you got the nice house and the nice car, whatever. But you see me in my nice house, my nice car, and you see me wake up in the morning, and I'm like, it's the same shit. It's like, I'm not like, I do my best to enjoy it, but it's so predictable. It's like, I don't know, like if I to my excitement level and how much fun I had, I probably would have switched careers 5 times. I probably would have been a sports car driver. That sounds like way more fun than real estate. Actually, my dream is what I'd love to be, a Formula One driver. But I'm like, this works. It's a good fit for my family. I'm good at it, and I know what the levers are. You generate leads, you follow up with people, you negotiate with sellers to earn their trust and to earn their business, and then you go and put the property on the market. You have a listing process around it, done. You have a buyer's process around it, done. It's like the same couple of buckets. Yeah. So,
And the last thing really is basically, as of right now, I'm gonna have a 20 to 30 leads, 30 to 40 leads. So my question is respectfully, do you, right now I only got one. I just signed up and I just got my first lead today. Do you think I should still like cold call the people I have until I get more muscular leads and do the leads I have, or do you think I should this like wait only like do muscular, like, you know what I mean, like this, or like, should I focus on both, or like until I get the next muscular, like in between hours, or should focus on Muscula? Like, what would, if you had other stuff like before you were using Muscula and you only get 1, 2 leads, like, you know what I mean, at a time, what would you do doing between those hours when they don't answer after 3 calls or you don't have any listing? What would be the smartest thing to do?
yeah, I would say School is the best lead platform that we've worked with. And so I'd rather not diversify. Like, we're not buying stocks here. It's the same shit. People click online to get inbound inquiries. Maskula has the best that I've seen to date inbound flow. I'd rather not fund another competitor because they're trying to figure it out as well. It's almost like having too many boats on a small pond. It gets
I don't
crowded.
have a competitor. I'm saying I'm using. I'm just saying I have old leads that I'm coming up with. My question is, should I do that until my school gives me more leads and more consistent? And then when I have listings, I focus on more on my school.
Listen, lead generate 2 hours a day, period. Bottom line. If you can go have your calendar, I don't give a shit if you're calling your mom or who you're calling, 2 hours a day, you better be filling it up I don't care if it's leads from 3 years ago, from a school or from somewhere else. The problem is people can't do it for more than 20 minutes. So if you got a list, my man, of 40 people from another company, all good. Just make sure 2 hours every day you're generating leads for new prospecting business. And if you can't meet the 2 hours, what you're doing with the remainder of the time is refollowing back up with their leads to try to respark them and move them along a pipeline. So I would say, yes, I would continue to follow up with those people. If you have their numbers, you have their emails, and there's anything at all, I would follow up and I'd be very diligent with them. I would. 2 hours a day.
Oh, okay. And this is every week. Are you the same person, or is there another person, another agent's gonna give different advice the next week? How does it work? This program. It's my first time here. Just wanted to make sure.
I don't know. So to be honest, and maybe it wasn't presented correctly, I don't work for Skula. I'm just a real estate agent. I don't even know from the system perspective. But I know for us, like what we do with our leads, it doesn't really matter. Like if I was on a boat for a week on a cruise with my family, my agents were following up with other leads that I had my assistant. It doesn't matter. Just call and get the input. Just focus on the inputs. Don't worry about the output. Just focus on the input. I make my calls.
Okay.
I follow up.
All right. All right. Last thing. I have $35 a day I spend on ads. At what point should I double it to $70 an hour? I'm just asking you. Last question.
Again, me personally, it depends on so many factors, right? Like how are you in business right now? Like maybe 35 is already a perfect number. Maybe 70 does make sense. I would focus on your conversion. Like if you have your conversion metrics to know, it's actually scary to just sort of throw money at the problem. You got to know what it is that you can convert on. Like, hey, I can convert out of every 10, I'm booking an appointment. After every 4 appointments, we get a listing. So it's like, awesome. I need 40 leads to get one listing. And I'm only getting 40 leads a month right now from a school at $35 a day. So it's only gonna give me 12 listings a year. If my goal is 25 listings, yeah, I got to double my money. Or if my goal is 40 listings, I got to, what is that? 70% my money, right? Like I got to do, it just depends on what your goals are. And really the sad truth is what you're to a lot of people in real estate, their commitment level is like, frick, man, unloyal, unfaithful. Like they're just, everyone's just flipping between idea and this and this, and no one can stick through long enough. But that would be my honest answer, man. And I want your money close. Lead with revenue, lead with profit, lead with predictability. And I would encourage everybody to have a good business plan and a model. And in the beginning, when you're just a solopreneur and you don't have a team and you don't have administrative staff or anything, it's you. So look at a calendar that you're not just going to bullshit yourself into, that it's like, oh, I made the calendar. I follow so many realtors. Here's the perfect calendar. It's like, you're broke. Like you don't even follow it. Yeah, theoretically, it's a perfect calendar, but you don't follow the thing. So I would encourage all of you. This is not, people say it's a race or a marathon. That is not true. Real estate is a lifestyle, period. I'm at dinner with my family. My wife even knows, okay, pick up the bill. I got to go. I'm going to go to the car, finish this call. She goes, okay, babe, go. And I just leave. It's a lifestyle, right? So you got to have a lifestyle and a cadence that's good for you. And depending on how you run your life, your income will be direct. I operate like a multi-million-dollar producer. That's how I operate. That's how I move my day. That's how my system, like that's how I move. And what's the byproduct? My GCI, I'm over $1 million producer. That's how it works. I didn't money first and then become. I had to be the person who had the activities, had the regimen, had the habit, understand leverage, understand all these things fundamentally, put them into practice, and then the money came. Okay, so that's what I would encourage all of you to do. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully I can help you out, man. I'm gonna help Susan. One last quick thing, and then I think Steve, I know you said you want to say something, so I'll stick around for 2 more minutes. Susan, what can I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to let that gentleman know, like he can upload his old contacts into Mskula to follow up with them. Like he did.
Susan over here trying to get a 10% discount from a school. Look at that.
I think, I was just trying to help him out.
Susan, you rock. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, I'm not a tech guy. I don't know anything about anything. I know how to work a computer hardly, and I know how to work my phone. So Susan over here knows about CSV files. She knows about importing contacts. So I would say reach out to Mskula if you need help with that and get it going. Susan, thank you so much for chiming in. I appreciate that a ton. And then who was the last gentleman over there?
That's me.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're great.
Awesome. All right, real quick. So just I just want to bring up 2 things. One of the things I wanted to focus on was the SOI and referral source. I am a single agent, And I'm at that, I kind of get those points where I'm like, man, I need to socialize more, not just with agents, maybe like kind of get out there and do more. Like, what would you be spending your time to like do something kind of like an efficient way, talk to people, new people, hang out with new people, grow my SOI, kind of go up at different levels. The people that I kind of hang out with now, they don't really see, they're not a realtor. Realtors, they run different businesses and whatnot, or they work W-2s and stuff. So my mindset's just different. I feel like I need to be hanging around with people that are forward thinkers, or just someone that are, but you know what I mean? It's a different mind, like similar to that are growing, that they want a lot of things for the family, just that kind of mindset. What would you spend your time to try to meet some friends like that or meet new people like that?
Yeah, number one, I'd go to Instagram and I'd take every single realtor that you're following and unfollow them immediately. I would only follow, and you look, guys, I almost, how many followers? I have, I think, like a little over 5,000 followers. Okay, I have 5,500 followers. I follow 660 people. Everyone that I follow is either a past client, SOI, someone who inspires the shit out of me, or someone that's my friend. If my friend happens to be a realtor, then it's all good, right? But I do not follow realtors because that doesn't do anything for anybody. The real estate industry sometimes is very much like a friend's social club. The clubs I'm hanging around, there's not a lot of realtors because they can't even get in the damn rooms, right? So you are the net average of the 5 people you hang around with, and it should not be all realtors. Okay, so that's number one. That's the first thing I would do. Number two, I'm not good at any sports or anything, but I wish I was like good at hockey or good at basketball or something, because then I go play pickup sports, something that maybe I did back in the day. And one of the guys that works for me is really good at hockey, and I said, bro, this is what you need to do. He's fucking good at hockey. He's good at golf too, but golf is a long game. It's hard. You could bang out a Wednesday night, whatever. So we joined a club Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night to have 3 different groups of people. And I'm like, yo, when you're on the ice with these guys and you go after to get a drink or whatever, now you're in 3 different networks, right? What do you think happened? Now we start getting referrals, blah, blah, like that's what I would encourage, is being networks. The other thing too, I'm like a Christian, so I'm like very active at my church. I don't do it for the pursuit of that, but by being at church and things like that, I'm kind of the go-to realtor that just kind of evolved into that. So it's been another thing. And then if you want to join like a business mastermind or anything like that, I think that'd be a good idea. I also think straight out flattery is awesome sometimes. Whereas if you look at like a local business in your area or someone that you really like and respect or just want to know, flip them a note and be like, hey, I'd love to grab a coffee with you sometime to see you doing great in your field. I would just, I'm starting my own business. I would love to get a little bit and just start taking people out for coffee dates and see like, yo, do I actually vibe with this person? And then just build meaningful relationships with people. And in any relationship you start, you need to pour the equity first. You have to. So you have to be bringing all the value. You have to be pouring the equity. But over time, they're going to have this sense of obligation, but they're going to want to pour it back. And then you start building just a relationship, right? So I would be really, really strategic in the relationships you build, and it will directly correlate your business. The first thing I would do is the cuts. Cut the people out of my Instagram that I don't follow anymore. Cut the people off Facebook. Stop going to realtor meetup, social gatherings. And here's the thing, guys. I speak everywhere. Every EXP con they ask me. When I was with Keller Williams, be on this panel, do this. And I stopped doing it because I'm like, it's like, if anything, it just strokes my ego. And we're already in a scary business where ego leads. And I'm like, I need to be a humble servant. I serve people. I sign contracts to represent them and their family. It's not about me. It's about what I'm doing for them. So I didn't want ego to be this big catastrophic thing. So I was like, that's not the vibe for me. And then I see all these other people who live off that and they have the best Instagram, the best this. And I pull up their numbers. I'm like, they don't sell real estate. Yet they're showing people this is what it looks like to be a realtor, or here's a day in the life as a realtor, whatever. It's like, don't let your brain get cluttered with that. Just don't, I wouldn't encourage that. And I think if you start just, again, manifesting it, hey, I don't do that anymore, the right people will start showing up. And even like all like the realtors, even at my brokerage, no one knows me. Like this office is my own office. I pay this rent. I have my own office. I have my own team, because I'm my environment. I'm very big that you are the net of the 5 people you're hanging around. That's a fact. It's not a thought. It's not a theory. It's a fact. If you have friends and their average income is $100,000, you will have $100,000 income. That is how it works. So if you want to have $1 million income, you need to find 4 friends that are making $1 million. You know what a coincidence is? All my close friends, they all make $1 million. What a coincidence. What do you think happens to me? That's just how life works. So I would encourage you guys to take these principles and just live them. And the cool thing is, when you live with a sense of intentionality, things just start working out. And then you start seeing like, oh, okay, that's why that wasn't working out before. But it's a perspective, kind of like a paradigm shift. But even asking that question clearly shows that you have the intent. I would just encourage you to pursue the intent. And I think the first thing to do would be the cuts, get those things out, and then find some different groups that you could be a part of.
Awesome. That's solid information, man. Thank you.
Oh,
Awesome.
my pleasure. Okay, guys. Well, I got to get rocking and rolling. I literally am in the middle of a deal. But I appreciate all of you. And guys, just go get after it. Hope you guys got a ton of value from today's call. And God bless everybody. And again, listen, if you guys, everyone's from all over the place here. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram and you don't know what to do for Instagram, go follow me and rip off everything I do. Go take everything. Go take my templates. Go see how I interact with my audience. See my market stats videos. Like, social media is like such a crutch for people because they always say, "Oh, I don't know what to do." Go follow someone that you like is actually having results and just go rip off their playbook. So I encourage all of you, if you don't know what to do, feel free to follow me on Instagram and just go ahead and take everything. Rip off and duplicate. It's the best way to run business. Because you won't follow. What she says, yes, because you won't follow us back. Is that what she said? Is that what she said? My eyes are so freaking bad. Yes, it's bittersweet because I probably won't follow a lot of you back. Maybe I'll follow the first 3 people back. Whoever throws me a follow, I'll follow them back. But and you know too, if you go look at people like Alex Hormozy, you go look at people like Andy Elliott, you go look at they don't follow anybody because they're clear on what they're doing. They don't want to be persuaded. They don't want to get stuck in the long scroll. They want to deliver the product and impact people and be inspirational and do things like that. So I kind of ran the same vibe. And I'm like, when I scroll on my feed, it's past clients. Like, people are getting engaged, having babies, and I'm a part of their lives and things like that, right?